Hi, I'm Snez, personal trainer, healthy lifestyle coach, and your guide to feeling your best. This podcast is a segment from my weekly radio show, Wellbeing Wednesdays, broadcast live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. It's all about sharing real, practical tips to help you move more, eat better, and live healthier without the overwhelm. Let's dive in, shall we? One of the biggest questions that I get, and something I still check in with myself about, and it is, am I actually tired? Or do I just need food, water, or a break? Do I need more sleep? Because what's interesting is that not all energy is the same, and treating everything as though, I'm just exhausted, which that's the words that I tend to use to describe myself at times, but it can actually keep you feeling quite stuck. And the thing is, in this segment, I'm going to help you to tell the difference between what's an energy dip and what's actual real fatigue, because the solution to those two very different scenarios is quite different itself. Let's start with energy dips. Now, this is the one that I suffer a lot from, being quite active in my day with the sort of work that I do. But energy dips are really quite common. And most of the time, they're not a sign that something wrong with you or that you haven't had enough sleep or that you're doing too much or that your gym session was too difficult or whatever it is. But it could usually come from either long gaps between meals, so not eating frequently enough. This one's a really big one. Meals that are too light on protein, so not getting enough protein, which satiates us for a longer period of time. It could be dehydration, that you're just needing water. It could be lots of mental load and screen time, just spending too much time seated in front of a screen because it just lowers our brain waves into a different level. It could be stress hormones doing their thing and protecting you, or it could be a blood sugar drop in the afternoon. And we've all felt that's that classic 3 to 4 p.m. slump where you're feeling flat and you're sort of wanting sugar or coffee, some sort of a caffeine or something quick, high fat, high sugar that can kind of pick you up a bit, and your brain starts feeling like, I just can't be bothered, like that's the time of day. But the important thing to know is that energy dips are easily fixable within sort of 10 to 30 minutes if you actually give your body what it needs. And so some of the things that your body could need if it is an energy dip is it could be water, it could be food, it could be just some fresh air, just getting up, going outside, getting some fresh air. You may just need to move your body and just get your metabolism working again. It might be that you just need a pause in your day to catch up with the amount of decision making, the amount of stress, the amount that you're carrying as a load. And sometimes we just need a bit of a pause, a bit of a break. You may not need a nap, which I oftentimes will default to. And I tell you, this is changing for me as well. You don't need to cancel out your whole day or beat yourself up or just dive into a big binge. We need to talk about what can we do in those moments, and I'll take you through that in a sec. The next thing I want to chat about is, well, what is fatigue? What's real fatigue? So real fatigue is actually quite different to an energy dip, and real fatigue doesn't lift quickly with food or with water. It's sort of a little bit deeper than that. It feels heavier. It's more resistant to change. And the way that it shows up is feeling tired when you're waking up most days, feeling sore or heavy in your body that doesn't quite bounce back, as that sort of heaviness, especially in your legs, low motivation for things that you normally would enjoy and that would bring you joy, brain fog that just doesn't clear when you've had some food or some water, and just feeling like you're needing rest, like you just want a quiet place, you just want to lie down rather than feeling like you need stimulation or activity. And this is where reducing sleep and causing sleep debt, where chronic ongoing stress, hormonal changes, or not recovering enough from your day-to-day, which is sleep or rest, or doing too much for too long, can come into effect and allow us to feel this way. And this is where very clearly, the answer isn't to push through when we're feeling like this. And even though I have absolutely done this in the past, what we need here is rest, recovery, and reassessing how full our plate actually is on a day-to-day basis. And the problem is that we oftentimes confuse the two quite different experiences of the energy dip, or that we're actually fatigued and we just need a break. And we often can treat energy dip like exhaustion, but then when it comes to real fatigue and actually addressing real fatigue, we kind of can label it like a motivational problem, that we're just not motivated enough. And this mismatch is what can keep us quite stuck in progressing with our health, in feeling like we've got more energy and genuinely looking after ourselves. So a simple check-in is that if your energy lifts after some food and water, or getting up and moving around, or a short break, then it was an energy dip. Whereas if it doesn't respond or lift after those things, you're more likely dealing with real fatigue, and your body is asking for rest, for sleep, for recovery, and definitely not being harder on yourself, more discipline, or trying to squeeze more motivation out of yourself. So how can we better respond to ourselves in these situations? So the first thing is, before assuming that you're just exhausted and really fatigued, have a glass of water. That's the first thing. That's my sort of go-to. It's like, let me just have a sip of water and just reassess how I'm feeling. Eat a proper snack, which is a combination of protein or a meal with a combination of fruit or veg, and then either something for energy, whether that be carbohydrate or some healthy fats. So it could be just a snack that you're going to have, it might be just a mid-afternoon snack, or it might be that you haven't had lunch yet and you're needing to give yourself some lunch. So if your energy goes back after sort of 10 to 15 minutes of having had something, great. You've met that need and you know that it was just an energy dip as a result of food or hydration. But if it doesn't, then that's some pretty important information to listen into yourself. And I'm speaking to you to convince you to take this time, and really speaking to myself quite honestly, because, I am the one that will tend to push through. But as you get wiser, as the years go around the sun, you start to think of things a little bit differently. And that's definitely where I'm starting to find myself now. But if your energy does not come back after hydrating and having something to eat, or going outside, moving your body, then that's your cue and my cue to slow down, to rest, and stop expecting so much of ourselves to perform at full capacity. And this is what I mean by listening to your body. We're not ignoring our body. We're not going to go, just keep pushing past it, just keep going against the discomfort and that fatigue. And definitely not labeling ourselves as unmotivated or lazy. But let's start to pay attention to the language of our bodies and start to learn what it's trying to communicate to us, and then actually making the changes that we genuinely need. Because when you respond accurately to what your body is asking for, energy stops being something that you are chasing. Like you become to have a good, healthy quantity of energy, and it starts being something that you begin to protect for yourself, and that energy and that wellness. Because when you do start to look after yourself and you go deeper into whether you're just hungry or need some water or just need to move for a bit, or whether you are tired, then you will start to find that you will just enjoy your life more fully. You'll be able to make better decisions, and you'll be able to see joy in your life rather than just constantly feeling exhausted. Thanks for joining me on this segment from Wellbeing Wednesdays, as heard live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who might find it helpful, and subscribe so you never miss a show. Want to catch the live broadcast? Well, you can tune in Wednesdays from 12 till 2 p.m. on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM, or find my info on Wellbeing Wednesdays with Snez, the Facebook group. Take care, stay healthy, and remember, it's the little choices every day that create big changes. Talk soon.